Hi, guys. Welcome to the Nina and Sip Show. Today, we're here to review and analyze Oprah's latest interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, or should we say, former prince?
Yeah, so this was an explosive interview. There were definitely a lot of points where I was so shocked that she was okay sharing with us. But I guess Oprah tells us right in the beginning that nothing is off limits. Okay, so for you, what was the most shocking thing that she revealed in the interview?
Okay, Neens. So for me, there were two things that really stood out in this interview. The first one definitely had to be the whole discussion around what Archie's skin tone would be like. Yeah, that was. I think Oprah and me probably had the same expression, like,
Oprah and all of us watching. Yes.
exactly, like, really? And the second was the whole thing about how whether it was an expectation or just the fact that they thought that they deserved the security that went along with the royal title, even though they were pulling back from being full time royals.
So, Subs, I don't know if that really surprised me, um, because if you look at their history, their past, there is no diversity in it. So I just feel like I wasn't so shocked when they were talking about this, but I was shocked that she actually revealed that. And I feel obviously horrible that she did go through what she did. But I think another, I mean, just hand in hand with that, all of this demeaning kind of stuff that was happening to her, and then how she felt trapped, and then when she had suicidal thoughts, there was no kind of help for her, which is so weird. You live in this huge palace, and you would think after what happened with Diana, maybe these people would rethink things. I don't know, did you feel like that?
I am drawing a lot of parallels from Netflix's show The Crown because I'm no royal expert. So whatever
I
I
think
know, or
a lot of us are
I'm going
thinking
to say
about the
that right
Crown.
out, right? So whatever we're talking about is probably based on the show Crown, and I do feel that just because you appear to live in this beautiful palace and you're a princess or a duchess or prince or whatever your royal title is, doesn't make you less of a human being. And in fact, I think it's more like a cage that you're in, and you have to be perceived in a particular way. And it is really, really sad. But um, like in today's day and age, I'm sure a lot of help can be brought into the palace, right, without anyone really knowing, because everyone is so particular about how they should look. Well, the firm is so particular about how they should look and appear. So maybe to bring help into the palace so that it's a little more discreet, that could have been an option. But again, we're just mere mortals.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't even know how it works, but I am very shocked that them being who they are, there wouldn't be anyone to make sure that their mental health is in check. I think that was really surprising. So if we move on to their relations currently, I think that was another shocking thing where Harry actually reveals that he doesn't really talk to his dad much anymore. And that for a while, the dad stopped picking up his phone calls. So I'm just thinking, Subs, which I think everybody else is also thinking, what are the relations going to be like after this interview? Because they spoke about Kate, they spoke about William, they spoke about the Queen. So I don't know, it's going to be really awkward.
Um, sometimes like there were moments while I was watching this interview, I actually had to remind myself that we're talking about really real people. This is not a reality show that I was watching, that it's really an interview, and it's not connected to any show or anything like that. But it's just really sad. But I do feel that, however I felt about the interview and maybe the couple, that they were quite respectful of William and Kate, and even Charles. They weren't really. I mean, he said what he said, but he didn't. He said that there is a lot of love, but we have a lot of tough times to go through. And also how they spoke about the queen, kind of made her more human as like a grandmother, which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah, they said they had Zoom calls with Archie. So that was probably something none of us were expecting. Yeah, and I think the other thing is when we look at her relationship with Kate, that's another point that Oprah had brought up, where there was a rumor that she had made Kate cry. And she said that actually it was the reverse. And it was on something I think kind of trivial, which was about bridesmaid dresses or something, right? I think she had mentioned that, or flower girl dresses. And we all know that brides can be super sensitive, during that time, and especially more so in her case. But I think the strangest part was is that it sounded so normal, and yet something completely twisted happened in the tabloids, right? That Kate made Meghan. Oh no, sorry, Meghan made Kate cry, which was she says was untrue.
Yeah, it sounds like, just wedding drama to me.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing that I found a little amusing, uh, was the fact that she said that there were, unlike the movies that we see in Hollywood and elsewhere, there were no classes given to her on how to be a royal, how to be a duchess, or anything like that. But my point is that, so she's marrying Prince Harry, who knows no other life but how to be a royal, right? He taught her how to curtsy in front of his grandmother in less than 5 minutes. Not that I'm saying the rest of the classes wouldn't take a lot longer, but why couldn't he get her the help on maybe like like royal etiquette on how to dress, how to eat, how to talk, and there seem to be a million of those. So why not get him to help her out, since that's literally in his blood.
Yeah, it's strange, right? Because I know all of us are drawing our knowledge from whatever we watch on The Crown, right? Because we do remember that part where Lady Di is getting, completely groomed, and she's being taught etiquette. So it was definitely obviously surprising for all of us who have that running through our heads. I thought that it was a very kind of, she had spoken about her first time she met the Queen, and how that it was kind of all by chance. It wasn't really a planned meeting. And then how just moments before, she thinks that she's just going to say, hi to Harry's grandmother. And Harry asks her, do you know how to curtsy? And she's like, what? Like, aren't we just meeting your grandmother? And he's like, yeah, but she's also the queen. So, just a huge reminder of like what she's going into. Like, I feel like that would have been something that like kind of not was a warning, but at least it was, she should have kind of, I felt picked up on that, because life is completely different for these people. And yet when she was speaking in the interview, I just felt like, she was like, oh, but for me it was just normal. And I was like, but it's not at all normal, and whatever we watch of them on TV doesn't look normal. So I was a little bit surprised at some of, like, I don't know, the way she had kind of answered some of the questions.
And I think that, going into it, every single person who knows a little bit about the royal family or has even Googled them, not like, let alone watched The Crown, knows that they're not supposed to have a job, have any political views, and absolutely, kind of do what they're told. And then to come and say that, I left my career behind and all of that for the man I loved, but that's a part of the package.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I,
not
I just
something
feel like how,
extraordinary was asked of her,
yeah,
right? So there, I feel like she made it sound like it was this big sacrifice that she was making, when in fact, to me, it was, you chose this.
yeah, I agree.
And we know so many people, like in regular life, who choose to sacrifice something for love, or sacrifice love in order to get the other things that they want.
Yeah.
Um, so that to me wasn't like, oh wow, you poor thing. There were other moments where I felt bad for her, but definitely
Yes.
not in that.
Yeah, that to me also sounded a bit off when she had spoken about how she gave up her career in acting for this. So, I mean, I would assume that you would know when you're about to marry into royalty that everything is going to change. And it was funny because Oprah asked them that, do you guys watch The Crown? And both of them said, yeah, a few episodes. But I actually feel they're probably
Up
following
to
the
date.
whole, yes, they're up to date.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. More fans of The Crown, I think, over there. But
I don't know about fans. but they're watching.
So I think that they spent a lot of time in this interview talking about the security detail that was denied to Harry or pulled back once they moved to Canada, which kind of pushed them to move to the US instead.
Right.
Um, I just feel that how big a deal is it really? And if it is a really big deal, why wouldn't the royal family want to protect their own?
Right.
Like, I mean, it can be argued two ways. So I'm not sure. Like, I don't even know if there's a debate to be had. I just wanted, it probably is just a question out there.
Right. I think Prince Harry does say that he actually just felt like because this was not something he chose, he was born into it. He just felt like security would come along with him, considering like he is still like he's the one who was born into the family and thinks that the threats have not changed. Everything is the same, and they're pulling his security. So Meghan kind of steps in and she says that, oh, I understand if you don't want to protect me or the baby, but protect my husband who is receiving death threats because I think he married someone of color. That was another point, right? So I think it's very disturbing and kind of crazy to hear in this day and age. But then obviously it's not also very surprising because I think even they had reiterated that there are people that are stuck in their ways. Like they know that there's better out there, but that's just how they say it. That's just how it works. That's how things go. And that's something that Harry repeatedly says in this interview.
Also spoke about feeling trapped and lonely, not with her
Right.
husband, but just with everything around. Um, my thing is that she actually dated Prince Harry for like a little while. It wasn't something like it wasn't like a whirlwind romance or anything like that. And from what we see in the interview, they seem to have a really solid relationship. Well, they should, right? Since he's kind of like left his country and his palace to be with her. Wasn't there any heads up given to her that this is the raw life, this is how it really is versus what's being portrayed? She says she wasn't romanticizing what it would be to be a duchess or a princess or anything like that, but uh, was there any sense of reality in that? Like, was she given a realistic picture, or I don't know, like that just seemed a little
Yeah.
like, huh?
And I
You're
think
saying on one hand, yeah, you're saying on one hand that you didn't romanticize anything, but then you're saying that she felt that I felt really lonely and trapped.
And I think the other thing is that Oprah kind of tries to tries to ask her more into that because she says that didn't were you and your friends wondering what life in the palace would be like? And she says that we spoke about it, but it's kind of strange to me that nobody would say that, oh, you know what, there might be these cons. Like, is it
Exactly, right? And the thing is, she's like, I never really read anything written about me. Why not? I'm sure Google's not banned in the palace or anywhere else that they were staying in.
Well, I
Uh,
think for her mental health, maybe she's not reading because I think they were very, very harsh on her. And I feel like if you read that every single day, I think it is definitely going to do something to you. It's so much negative press. And then she goes on to say, they talk about that, right? The palace's relationship with tabloids and how they host,
so,
was it Christmas parties or
yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah. They have Christmas parties.
So I think that was also a bit shocking.
Yeah.
Maybe like we know that it happens, but not to the point where they're posting tabloids.
Yeah. It's just very bizarre.
So Prince Harry's relationship with William, he says that she says, I think Oprah asks William, what is your current relationship with Prince William? And he says, space. So, and you could tell that it hurt him to say that. I think that, I mean, I really do feel like Prince Harry is someone who's kind, but I also felt like some of what they were saying was coming from the heart. I mean, I could see that he was upset about his current relationship with his father and brother. And really, I mean, the only one that he seemed to be keeping in touch with is the queen, is his grandmother. So I thought that was it was sad. It was sad, but I guess it's a part of their package.
The other thing, when you're talking about family relationships, Megan was talking about how, that just because you like one doesn't mean you have to not like strongly dislike the other one. When Kate and her were pitted against each other, while both of them may have done very similar things, Kate was always shown in the good light
Yeah.
in the tabloids, whereas Meghan was heavily criticized for doing pretty much the exact same thing, whether it was eating avocados or whether it was like, cradling the baby bump, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that's very, very important. Just because
Yeah.
there are two people doesn't mean that, if you like one, you have to automatically hate the other
Like,
one.
right.
Like the two don't have to be parallel to each other, right? And
I
I
mean,
think that's
I felt again, I do feel like this was racism at play again, because they make everything that Kate did so angelic and nice and good. And then everything that she does, which is pretty much similar, maybe it's slightly different, but it's all vilified.
yeah.
So I do feel that race does play,
And
a
why
role.
can't she get like Kate's coach to teach her how to be a duchess? Because I mean, like she seems to be doing a really good job. She knows that she needs to wear stockings and the hats and everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
And
I
she's
think
born British, and she's a born Britisher.
Right. She's a born Britisher. But I also feel like their relationship isn't very strong, because immediately after they show a picture of Kate and Meghan attending the tennis match together, she says that what you see is definitely not what it is. So I don't think they share obviously a very good relationship. So I almost feel like maybe she didn't offer to help her when she came in. But I mean, to be fair, both Harry and Meghan said that initially the family was very welcoming. So let's talk about some of the celeb reactions. Piers Morgan actually criticized this interview and calling Harry extremely disloyal. So I don't know if many people are going to think about that, because they've kind of dropped some crazy information just now. So I don't know if people are going to talk about loyalty. The other thing is that Serena Williams, tennis player and friend of Meghan Markle, says that she was extremely proud. And she says, look at how deep racism runs, right? Like it's still very much there. And no matter if you're a princess today, in today's time, look at the things we have to go to. So she kind of applauds her for standing up and speaking out. I think Oprah brings up the point that what do you have to say to people who think you want to have your cake and eat it too, right? With leaving the family, right? Separating yourself from the family, the royals, and yet wanting the security.
And
Um,
the financial
and
benefits
the
that go along with it as well.
right, because
Because
yes,
Harry did make it a point to say that he was cut off
yeah,
in the
he was
first
cut
quarter
off in
of
2020. Yeah, he was cut off financially from the family. And I thought that was also kind of shocking. Were you expecting that?
No, but the thing is, I don't understand why they were crying so much about that. I mean, Megan is very proud of the fact that she was working and she was a very successful actress. Like, I enjoyed watching her in Suits,
Right.
I have to admit. I mean, so she's made a good living for herself.
Yeah.
And you don't have to live in such a lavish and luxurious setting. Like, LA has other neighborhoods other than Santa Barbara. You don't have to be on the
Uh,
beach.
and they're neighbors with Oprah. Okay, let's
Exactly.
just talk about
Yeah, yeah,
their
yeah. So
neighbors with
exactly,
Oprah.
right?
So
She
you
can pay like
can pay
them,
for security.
right? I mean, like, so his justification for doing all the podcasts and Netflix and all of the other stuff is so that he can secure an income in order to pay for his security to keep him and his family safe. Um, Budgeting much? Have you ever heard of that?
No, I don't think so, actually, to be
I
honest.
think there are a few classes that they kind of missed. What I would really like to say is that after listening to them, I did feel a little sad for them, but I did think that they were really confused and they're kind of milking this. I don't know for what. Yeah, I understand you want to get the truth out. You've got your voice back. You want to shout it out, and you want to do all of that. But
Right.
um, yeah, like I feel that there is an ulterior motive to all of this, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are already fascinated with them, right? But I also feel like I was a little confused too, because I think towards the end, Oprah asks Harry the question that would you have left the family if you hadn't married Meghan? And he says no. So it's just weird because
Yeah,
his
and that he didn't know he was trapped
yeah, his whole
until
argument was that he didn't know he was
he
trapped
was
in
trapped
Meghan.
until he met Megan.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some things that just don't add up.
Mhm.
Either ways, we wish them all the love and luck,
Yes.
and hopefully they have, you know, the perfect life that they're seeking for.
Well, I'm just going to say what everyone was probably thinking is how is this going to play out on The Crown?
I,
I mean, I'm sure everyone's thinking, oh my God, this is going to be making a really good episode.
yeah, but I think what's going to be interesting to see is how, Buckingham Palace responds or doesn't respond
Yes.
to
Oh
all
my
of
God, that is going to
that.
be
That would be
definitely
interesting.
very interesting to see what happens next. Of course, we do wish them all the luck. And we want to know from you guys, what did you guys think about this interview? Because I'm sure we all have our opinions and we just love to hear them.
Yeah, so can't wait for what you guys have to say, and we'll talk to you soon. Until next time.
Bye, guys.